आनन्दमान नटवरवपुः कर्णयो कर्णिकारं बिभ्रदवासः कनककपिशं वैजयन्तीं च मालाम् रन्ध्रान्वेणो रधरसुधया पूरयन् गोपवृन्दैर्वृन्दारण्यं स्वपदरमणं प्राविशद्गीतकीर्तिः। नमः कमलनाभाय नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमलपादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण। यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रणोति तस्मै तद्गुहादेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Now we will chant for 2 minutes, and after that the subject of today will be started. Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला 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 ओ भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो
गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
ओ भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो
गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो
गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
श्रीमद् सतगुरु सरकार की जय, श्रीमद् युगल सरकार की जय। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे। So yesterday I was explaining the stage of before attaining divine love bliss. And that stage of love is called sadhana bhakti. In this sadhana bhakti, an aspirant has to practice devotion. And in this practice, mainly, he has to practice to detach his mind from the world, to attach it towards God. Our mind, it's so badly attached to the world that without detaching it from the material world, it is very, very hard to attach it towards God. That's why firstly we start practice of remembering God, attaching our mind towards God. All the scriptures and saints say the same thing, that we have to start our practice of devotion from detaching our mind from the material world and to attach it towards God. But Sri Maharaj Ji, after 4 Jagat Gurus, who was given the title of Jagat Guru Uttam, he simplified it according to the time. This is Kali Yuga. And he knows they are so badly, the people in this yuga are so badly attached to this material world that if they will start from this process that they have to detach their mind from the material world first, and then they would attach it to God, then it will take very, very, very long time. That's why he says that you don't have to detach your mind from the material world. Forget it. You cannot do it. Don't detach your mind from the material world. Then what should we do? Just attach your mind towards God. Think about God. Chant the names, the pastime, the attributes, etc. of God. Think about His attributes. Think about His pastimes as much as you can. Thus, you attach your mind. You have to do the practice of attaching your mind to God. That's all. But if our mind is attached to the material world, then how can we attach it? No. If you detach your mind completely, which is not possible without devotion. If you say that, yes, I can detach, I am totally detached from the world, even then, it's not sufficient. You cannot attain the ultimate goal of life. You cannot attain the peace. You cannot attain the bliss. But if you attach your mind without trying to detach your mind from the world, if you attach your mind to God, then your mind will be naturally detached from the world. You can understand it very simply. If you leave Austin, you are going to Dallas. You have to go to Dallas. You just leave Austin. If you have gone 50 miles away from here towards Dallas, it means you are 50 miles away from Austin and 50 miles closer to Dallas. When you will reach Dallas, then you are totally away from Austin. In the same way, we have to practice to attach our mind towards God. That's why we have to practice according to the instructions of our Guru. As I said yesterday, tad vidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. We have to follow the instructions of our Guru. Whatever instructions he gives, we have to do that. That is sadhana. And what will this sadhana do? It will purify the mind. Our purification means anartha nivritti. Anartha nivritti means detachment. When we will love God, then naturally we will not love the material world in the same ratio. When our attachment will increase towards God, it will decrease from the material world. Although this sadhana is of two types, Vaidhi and Raganuga Bhakti. In Vaidhi Bhakti, the aspirant has to follow the rules of the Vedas also. But in Raganuga Bhakti, it doesn't have to follow the rules, the laws of the Vedas. Simply, we have to create love, spontaneous love for God, remember Him, chant His names, remember all the pastimes of God, and gradually you will get attached. Mainly, those devotees follow the path of Vaidhi Bhakti who were following the path of Varnashram Dharma before. There are many people who believe that the greatest happiness could be attained in heaven, in celestial abodes. And according to the Vedas, they follow all the rules, Varnashram Dharma rule, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, according to that. Whatever actions, whatever puja, whatever rituals they are supposed to do at what time, they do all that because they have been doing all that. And later on they came to know that if we accomplish it, it is very hard. The path of dharma, varnashram dharma or karmakand is very, very difficult. But even then, if somebody accomplishes it, if he gets success in completing it, only then he will attain the heaven, Swarg, celestial abodes. And the Vedas and other scriptures say that that is also not a place of permanent, it is not a permanent place of unalloyed happiness. After some times, after enjoying all the fruits of our good deeds, we have to come back again in the same cycle of death and birth. If you again have to attain the celestial abode, you have to go from ABCD again. And all the scriptures are saying we cannot please God by any jap, tap, vairagya, yoga, jnana, karma, by any action. Na sadhayati mam yogo, na sankhya dharma evacha, na sadhyayastapastyago, nishta purtam chamanyate. Nothing. Nishta purtam. If you are following the path of karma or jnana, or you are studying all the scriptures, you are reciting all the scriptures, whatever you do, Naham vedai na tapasa, na danena, na chejya. Nobody can know me by tap, dan, yajna, etc. When he comes to know this fact, then he turns towards the devotion. Then he practices devotional sadhana, devotional practice. And because he has been always following the rules of the Vedas, like the Vedas say, Brahme muhurte cha buddheta, you have to get up at 4 o'clock. Snanam samacharet, after that you have to take bath. Then sandhyam samacharet, after that you have to do puja, sandhya. So because he has already been doing all these things, that's why when he starts bhakti, that time as well, he follows the rules of the Vedas up to some extent, according to the devotion. Like he still gets up at 4 o'clock, and he still does puja part, and when the time is arti, he does the arti. When the time is bhog, he will do at the same time. So he is abide by some rules. But Raga Anuga Bhakti, the devotee of Raga Anuga Bhakti, then I have to follow any rule or regulation. He has to practice all the time only devotion. Smartavya Vishnu Satatam Vismartavyo na Jatuchit. This is the only niyam. Sarve vidhi nishedhasyo etayo reva kinkaraha. Smartavya Vishnu Satatam. For the Raganuga Bhakti people, what is the rule? You remember Sri Krishna all the time. All the time, 24 hours. Smartavya Vishnu Satatam. Vismartavyo na jatuchit. And you must not forget him even for a second. So when you are remembering God, you are doing punya, the good deed. And when you forget, that is pap, that is a sin. This is the rule for Raganuga Bhakti. You can understand the difference of Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti with one example. Suppose a devotee get up early in the morning at 2 o'clock, and he is doing kirtan, he is enjoying. Because it is very quiet atmosphere, no disturbance is there. He is doing kirtan, shedding tears, doing very good. He is enjoying his devotion. Now, it is 6 o'clock. This is the time of Aarti. He doesn't want to leave because he is enjoying devotion. He is enjoying kirtan. He is shedding tears. It rarely happens with him, but today he is very much settled in sadhana. So the Vaidhi Bhakti would say, no, stop kirtan now and do Aarti. This is the time of Aarti. You should do Aarti. You can do kirtan later on again. But Raganuga Bhakti would say, no need of stopping bhakti, because whatever action you perform, The aim of each and every action of a devotee is to please God, to remember God. So you are remembering God already. Then why would you stop it? Why? What is the need of doing arti? You may do arti later on, when you will be tired, when you will finish your kirtan. After that, you can do arti. But this time, your mind is very much focused. You are enjoying your sadhana, then don't stop it. This is the difference of Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. So when the person starts this bhakti, sadhana bhakti, so in the beginning there is a difficulty in remembering God, in sitting for satsang, in shedding tears, etc. Because he doesn't have love for God. But after a constant practice, he starts enjoying his sadhana. Then gradually he sees that now he can shed tears also. He is having very good feeling. He doesn't want to stop it when he starts his sadhana. Means in the beginning, it was very difficult to do Rup Dhyan, to focus on God, but now it has become very easy. When he can practice devotion without any difficulty, without any hindrance, without any effort, then it is the starting of Bhava Bhakti. In Sadhana Bhakti, he tries to focus. And Bhava Bhakti, when the mind is focused naturally, that is Bhava Bhakti. Now, he has to prepare his mind to see God. So far, it is not ready. Yes, he's started enjoying the sadhana, but still his mind is not ready. But when he goes in the next level of sadhana bhakti, which is bhava bhakti, now his heart is getting ready to attain rati, the natural love for God. And then I explained yesterday that when somebody steps in bhava bhakti, then gradually 9 signs are seen in that devotee. Chanti, avyartha kalatvam, viraktir, manashunyata, asha bandha, samutkantha, nam gane sadaruchi, atha saktis gunakhyane, and pritis tadvastis thale. These are the 9 signs of a devotee of bhava bhakti. The question arises that how does a devotee attains these bhav? Who gives that? Because in the sadhana we do some effort to do sadhana, but at that time as well, when a little feeling of devotion occurs, like when we are shedding tears, we are doing Rup Dhyan very nicely, that also happens with the grace of Guru. Without the grace of Guru, we cannot do Rup Dhyan, we cannot shed even one drop of tear. Whenever we shed tears, we should know this is the extreme grace of our Guru. So Bhava Bhakti, as the symptoms indicate, that Bhava Bhakti is something very high class devotion. So how one person attains it? Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ujjwal Nilmani, etc. The great scriptures of Bhakti say that the rati, the natural love for God, is created due to 3 reasons. Number 1, sadhana bhinivesh. Sadhana bhinivesh means by sadhana, by kirtan, bhajan, etc. As the Bhagavad says, evam ratasva priyanam kirtya jata nurago duta chitta चित्त उच्चैः हसत्यथोरोदितिरौति गायत् त्युन्मादवन् नृत्यतिलोकबाह्य. The innermost segment of devotion is kirtan. This is the best way to create love for God, kirtan. So when the devotees start kirtan, then gradually their heart becomes pure, and sometimes they sing, sometimes they dance, sometimes they scream, sometimes they cry bitterly, sometimes they laugh. Because in their Roop Dhyan, they see lots of things. They find themselves with God. Here I want to tell you one thing, that the stage of Bhav Bhakti is very high, but it is very dangerous as well. Dangerous for most of the devotees. Why? Because this is the stage when the devotion uplifts, it goes to the higher level. Then a time comes when the devotee in Roop Dhyan, he feels like God himself is here in front of me. See, we also do Roop Dhyan. When we do Roop Dhyan, it is in our mind. I am just imagining. I am trying to visualize the form, divine form of God. I am not seeing. I am doing it. It is my imagination. When this Roop Dhyan becomes more stable, then when we are doing Roop Dhyan, so we drown in that. And if there is any noise, any sound, then our Roop Dhyan does not get disturbed. In the beginning, with any kind of sound, with any kind of noise, our Roop Dhyan was getting disturbed. But now, if there is some sound, some music, something, he does not get disturbed. But when it goes on a more higher level, then if somebody touches his body, before that, he was not getting disturbed with the sound. But if somebody was touching his body, then he was getting disturbed. Now when it goes to a more higher level, then even the touch of anyone was not disturbing him. It does not disturb him. And in a little more higher level, if somebody is pinching your body and some very hot thing is touched to your body, only then the Roop Dhyan was disturbed. But now, that condition will also come when these things would also not affect you. The more higher level of devotion is that when the aspirant is doing Roop Dhyan, then he feels he is completely oblivious of his body, and he feels like I am seeing Shyam Sundar as you are seeing me at this time, as you are seeing each other over here. In the same way, they feel like I am seeing Shyam Sundar himself is here. He talks with him. When he talks, he feels Shyam Sundar is also answering. When he plays, he sees that Shyam Sundar is also playing, he is also running. And if Shyam Sundar is running and he is chasing him, he is trying to find him, and if there are some curves in the room or some doors or any obstacle, he will escape everything as if he is seeing. He will not hit anything. This stability, which is called dharana, when this stage of dhyan, meditation comes, That is called dharana, and he feels the presence of God. At this stage is most dangerous, highest and dangerous. Why? When he comes out of his samadhi, this is not called only Rup Dhyan. When he gets so much drowned in Rup Dhyan of Shyam Sundar that he feels he himself is here, that is called Prem Samadhi. When he comes out of this samadhi, then he feels, oh, Shyam Sundar himself was here. Yeah, he was playing with me. I was running, I caught him. He was going towards that side, I also went. I caught him. It means I realized God. He feels, he thinks that I have realized God. When he thinks like that, probably I realize it is the realization of God. I saw him. It means I have become God-realized soul. So what is the difference now between me and my Guru? I have become equivalent to him. He starts thinking like that. This kind of thought is sheer ignorance. After God realization, how can somebody be so ignorant that he is comparing himself with his Guru? And if after God realization, Maya goes away forever. Sada pashyanti surya tad Vishnu padmam paramam padam. After God realization, he attains divine knowledge, divine vision of God, divine knowledge, divine heart, divine abode. There is no room of any kind of doubt. But still, at this stage, he doubts. Plus, ego also overcomes his mind. See, my stage has gone that up. I am very advanced devotee. I don't see any other devotee at this stage. So I am the best devotee over here. As soon as this ego comes, if you are just having tears and you are thinking, oh, I am better than any other devotee. See, nobody is shedding tear. I am the one who is shedding tear. Then from that time on, you will never have the tears. You will never have the tears. In the same way, when he thinks like that probably I am a God-realized soul because I saw Shyam Sundar myself, he will lose that state. Immediately he will lose it. Bhavopya bhava mayati. He will see the utter downfall. So, the higher stages are attained by very fortunate devotees by the grace of Guru, but they are very dangerous also if you are not very cautious about it. We should know beforehand that all these conditions, all these stages will come in my life, and there is chances that I have to face the downfall. I remember when I started prachar, because it was the beginning of my prachar, my age was also less. I was very young. People were admiring. Then I was thinking in my mind, because it was firm in my mind that whatever I am speaking, it is only by the grace of God, because I never studied any scripture. There were many scriptures I did not even see with my eyes by that time. Except Gita, I didn't see any other book. And I was quoting all the big scriptures. I knew that it is due to Sri Maharaj. I did nothing at all. But when people were admiring, then I was getting happy, as if I am doing everything. Then I wrote it to Sri Maharaj. Maharaj, I am very much scared, because I know that I did not earn anything at all. This knowledge is infused by you to me. It is given by you to me. But when people admire, why did I become happy? Why do I think that, yes, I spoke very well, my speech was good. Why do I think like that? I am very much scared that Mahaji, I will be the victim of ego. Sri Mahaji didn't say anything. He said, if you keep Tattva Gyan with you all the time, then it will not happen. So it is very natural. We are the human beings. And we already have all the vices of Maya, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Isha, Dvesh, Mad, Matsarya, and it will remain until we do not realize God. So we have to be very careful about it. Even if you are shedding tears or horripilation or stomach or any other sign occurs in the body, don't think that I am very special and now I have a very advanced devotee. Others we will lose immediately everything. So, it is attained by sadhana, number one, if we are doing sadhana. Number two, these kind of bhav are attained by sadhana. When they do sadhana, then they attain all this. Number two, by the grace of Sri Krishna. Sometimes, when Sri Krishna himself becomes very happy with some devotee, then he bestows this bhakti, this rati to him. If some devotee is doing lots of seva of one of Sri Krishna devotee, then he will be happy and he will bestow the bhakti to him. And there are some yoga bhrashta sanskari jiva. In sadhana bhinivesh also, those who attain God realization, those who attain the symptoms of bhava bhakti, the sattvic bhava, etc., like Sur, Tulsidas ji, etc., they are in those devotees as well, there are some yoga bhrashta devotees, like Mirabai. Yoga bhrashta sanskari devotees mean those who have already accomplished most of the part of devotion, like if they have to accomplish 100% anartha nivritti, means purification of heart, 100%. So they have accomplished bhakti 90%, 80% already in their past lives. And now, when in next life, such kind of devotees would take birth in a good family, in an opulent family, and nice people. Like Mirabai was the yoga bhrashta devotee. She already completed her devotion in previous life. Soon as she came in this birth, natural. She had natural love for devotion and she realized God. In our satsang as well, there are many. I have given you the introduction of Sri Rampati ji, Rampati Srivastava of Allahabad. When she heard, many people told her that one saint is here, for Shamaji they said, and he speaks very well. You are so educated, you would really like his speech. Because other people who were giving this information to Rampati ji, they were hardly high school pass. And they were saying, when we are enjoying, you are MA, you will really enjoy it because intellectual people, it is especially for the intellectual ones, you will enjoy it. But she said, no, I'm not interested in any saint. I don't want to go. And especially I don't want to go to any male saint. Forget it, I will not go. They were telling her again and again, once you come. One day they said, you don't know, his kirtan is so melodious, is so full of sentiments of devotion, and look at his face, there is a lustre of the sun. When she heard that there is an aura like a sun, his face looks like a sun, okay, today I will go. And by the way, that day Shri Mahaji had to do kirtan only, and when she went, by the way, the light had gone. So she could not see even the face of Maharaji, what to say of sun, the light of the sun. But the kirtan, she liked the kirtan very much. She said, this is not the kirtan which I hear everywhere. This is something special. Yes, this kirtan is something very authentic. I like this kirtan. But she didn't say anyone about this. After a few days again there was a kirtan at the residence of Lakshman Swarup Bhatnagar. She went over there also. When she went in that kirtan, and Shri Maharajji was also in Bhavavesh, he was dancing in Bhavavesh. When Maharajji started dancing, she also went in ecstasy. She was just sitting and shedding tears all the time. She didn't know what is happening in the hall. The kirtan went on up to 4 o'clock in the morning, and throughout she was sitting just like that and shedding tears. She had no idea what is going on there. At 4 o'clock kirtan was finished. Maharajji went in his room. All the satsangis went in their respective homes. Nobody was there except Rampati ji, and she went with her sister and the husband of sister. Then they said, Mausi, now the kirtan is finished, let us go. Then she woke up, she said, okay, and then she went home. And then when they reached home, they saw Maharajji was waiting outside, sitting on a rock. They were surprised. She said, I went to him for the first time. How does he know where is my residence? How did he come? Who told him about the address? And how does he know our names also? Maharajji, as soon as they reached, the Maharajji scolded them. I am waiting for you guys for such a long time. Where were you? Then they were so happy, like God has come in their house. They opened the door, and Maharajji directly went in the room of Rampatiji and he slept over there. He said, I reached my home. And she was so scared because she didn't like any male saint. She didn't want to talk to any male person also. She was not married also. So she was so much scared that she went outside the home and she slept in the veranda, and she locked the door also so that Maharajji cannot come outside. She was so much scared. And after that, few days after, there was a Janmashtami program in Pratapgarh in my father's home. Many devotees from there came, and she also came there. Soon as the kirtan started, she went in ecstasy, she started dancing, then she fell on the floor being unconscious. Everybody was surprised that she is just a new satsangi. First time she came in the satsang. How come she is in ecstasy? How come she is in bhav? Then some people asked Maharajji, Maharajji is so surprising. She came in the satsang for the first time and she is having such a high class bhav. Maharajji said, she came in the satsang for the first time for you guys, not for me. She is very old satsangi. And she has accomplished everything already in a past life. So, they are yoga bhrashta sanskari jiv. They also attain this bhav of bhav bhakti by sadhana. And number 2, by the grace of Sri Krishna. Like Prahlad. Prahlad was also yoga bhrashta sanskari jiv. That's why as soon as he took birth, when he was a little child, since then he was the devotee of Sri Krishna, and Sri Krishna was helping him all the time. And that's why he could realize God. In Bhagavad also, there is a nice episode that once the great Pandits, they were the greatest scholar of that time, they were doing some big yajna. During those times, Sri Krishna was going every day to graze the cows. One day when he was looking after the cows, he said to his friends that I am very hungry today. Bring something to eat for me. The Sakha says, Kanha, this is forest. How can we get anything to eat for you? He said, I know that this is the forest, but Madhupuri, the city of Mathura, is not too far from here. Go there. The Brahmins are doing a very big yajna, and today is the last day. They must have cooked very scrumptious food, lots of things. Go and bring some food. We all will enjoy the scrumptious food today. The Sakhas went, they were very happy. Oh, so we will eat today kheer, puri, everything. The yajna was still in process, although it was almost the end of the yajna, but it was not finished. They stood over there, the friends, the cowherd boys, they stood in front of the pandits who were doing the yajna, and they were saying, Bhojanam dehi, bhiksham dehi. They were so angry. Why are they disturbing? We are doing yajna and they are saying Bhojanam dehi. Eventually they scolded them. But don't you see that yajna is going on without offering to the fire? Swaha, swaha. We have to offer the food first to the Agni. After that we can give you any food. How come you came over here? Don't you know that the fire sacrifice, the yajna is still going on? They scolded them. See, the pandits, they do. Vishnu raratamasi Vishnu ho shapresto Vishnu dho rasi Vishnuetva swaha. You are doing it for Vishnu. Where is Vishnu? Vishnu is not here. Just keep on saying swaha swaha. They do like that. Thus, those boys went back to Sri Krishna. We didn't get any food. They scolded us like anything. They said, you can have the food only when the yajna is finished completely. Then Lord Krishna said, go again. And don't go to the pandits. Go to their wives. He said, they will also beat us. No, nothing would happen. Just go once more. Go to their wife. They came to their wives and they said, Kanha is very hungry. Can you give some food to us? When they heard it, they were so happy. They decorated the big thals with all kind of scrumptious food. Many, all the ladies, they all took lots of food and they said that we will go ourselves. We will feed Sri Krishna with our hand. And they decorated themselves also with beautiful, shiny lehenga, dupatta and everything. They did all kind of makeup and ornaments, etc. And they went over there. And they fed Sri Krishna with their hands. Sri Krishna was so happy, that he immediately bestowed grace, bhakti to them. From that moment on, they attained bhakti. When the pandits came to know about this incident, and when they came to know about who is Sri Krishna, then they repented like anything. They said, woe to our, whatever we learned, the Ved Vidya, what is the point of getting so much knowledge of the Vedas? Dhik janmanastri vidvidyam, dhik bratam, dhik bahugyatam, dhik kulam, dhik kriyadaksham, vimukha ye tadhokshaje. They are saying, we took birth in Brahmin clans. Dhik kulam, dhik kriya. We learned all the vidhi vidhan, all the methods, the correct method of doing yajna, etc. We accomplished the knowledge of all the 4 Vedas. What's the point? Vimukha ye tadhokshaje. But we could not love you. We didn't love you. We were offering to you, saying Vishnu raratamasi Vishnu ho. But we forgot about you. We're simply putting the food in the fire, that's all. We did nothing at all. But look at these ladies. Na asam dujati sanskaro na nivaso guravapi na kriya natma mimansa na shaucham na kriya shubhaha. Look at these ladies. They never went to the Gurukul to attain the knowledge of the Vedas. And they never had the Yajñopavit sanskar as well. They had no idea of any kind of activity, any kind of ritual about the yajna. They did nothing at all. And we were doing yajna for 14 days. We attained nothing, and they attained the result, the recompense of the yajna without doing anything. They did the yajna, and the result was given to the gopis, to those ladies, the wives of those pandits, because they did the right thing. Aho dhanyata tamavayam yasam nastadrishi striyah. They are saying we are really blessed because we attain such kind of ladies, the wives. Because of them, we also came to know that without bhakti, without devotion, we cannot attain anything. No matter how much knowledge you have, how fairly you do the yajna, it doesn't matter. So, it is, they attain, the wives of the Pandits attain the grace of God directly because He was happy on them, because they did the right thing. They did bhakti. They had love for God. And number 3, sometimes this bhakti, the rati, is attained by the devotees of Sri Krishna. Like you know about Jagai Madhai. They were such a great sinner. They hit Nityanand Maharaj. His whole body was bleeding. Whole body was drenched with the blood. When Mahaprabhu Chaitanya came to know that this happened, he was outrageous. He came over there and he said that why, who did it? And when they came to know that these two people, Jagai and Madhai, they hit Nityanandji. Then he invoked his chakra. When the chakra came and he was going to kill Jagai and Madhai, then Nityanandji Maharaj fell on the feet of Mahaprabhu Chaitanya and he was requesting him, please forgive him. They are the ignorant beings. How can they know the glories of yourself? They don't know anything about you. They have no idea of the significance of Harinam as well. And I was insisting, I was telling them again and again to pronounce the name of God. That's why they did it, because they are ignorant. Mahaprabhu Chaitanya said, no. If this offense was against me, I could have forgiven him. But his offense is not pardonable. Why? Because it is for you. I cannot tolerate any offense against my own devotees. And Nityanand, he is like my life. And he hit Nityanand, I cannot forgive him. Again he called Chakra. Then Nityanandji Maharaj said, Prabhu, if I have done even one thing in my life which pleased you, if you pleased with me even for one thing which I did in my life, please forgive him. When Mahaprabhu Chaitanya heard this, then he said, if you are so kind to him, you are so graceful to him, then how can I kill him? You are my life. He said. So, Mahaprabhu Chaitanya called Jagai and Vadhai, he embraced them and immediately he gave bhakti to them. Immediately. They attained bhakti, they attained God realization right away. So this rati, which is inaccessible to great devotees who are doing kirtan day and night, something very important. It creates due to three reasons: sadhana bhanivesh, Krishna kripa, Krishna bhakta kripa. But here one more thing which we should know, that the symptoms of bhakti which are seen in the devotees of Bhava Bhakti who have attained rati is seen sometimes in other people as well who have not attained rati. Like sometimes the same symptoms are seen in karmis and jnanis also. Those who are following the path of karma or the path of jnana, the same symptoms are seen in them as well. How? Because the rati, the science of rati, is so difficult to attain that even the devotees of Sri Krishna can hardly attain it. Then how come the karmis and jnani attain who do not want to attain love? Because these symptoms of love spring only in those devotees who want nothing except the seva of Sri Krishna. This is the only desire of the devotees, that I want to attain Nishkam seva of Sri Krishna. Such kind of devotee hardly attain these symptoms of Bhava Bhakti. But karmis and jnani, if you are seeing the same symptoms in them, then we should know this is not the symptom of rati. Then what is that? It seems like it is the same symptom, but it is not the symptom of rati. It is ratyabhas. It is called ratyabhas. It seems like that this is the symptom of rati. So how do they get it? Because they also do kirtan. When they come in kirtan, they also do kirtan. But the desire inside is different. Other devotees do kirtan with this desire that I should get your seva. I should get your love. Why? To do your seva. Why? To please you. Such kind of devotees attain the symptoms of rati. But these karmis and jnani, the karmis want to attain the celestial abodes and jnani wants to attain liberation. So when they are doing kirtan, that time as well, their secret desire is same. They want to attain the celestial abode or the liberation. But they are doing kirtan. And because they practice karma or jnana, then the Shat Sampatti, Sham, Dam, Titiksha, Uprati, etc., they already attain. So their life is also simple and pure because they are really following these paths of karma or jnana. That's why when they do kirtan, then the effect of those rituals which they are doing, trying to purify their heart, living in a simple life. And they also hear that if you call Sri Krishna in kirtan, if you call out Sri Krishna, he fulfills the desire of all the devotees. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tas tathaiva bhajamyaham. If you are practicing devotion with the desire of heaven or with the desire of liberation, he will give it. So they want to attain their own respective desires only. But because they are doing kirtan, that's why those symptoms are seen in their body. But it is not rati, it is ratyabhas. And sometimes it is seen in ordinary devotees also. They have not reached up to the level of bhav bhakti. But still, they are seen in bhav sometimes. That is also very temporary, and it happens only when some special function is going on, like Janmashtami, Radhashtami, Ramnavami, etc. And the kirtan, very good kirtan is going on. Everybody is dancing, everybody is enjoying kirtan. That time, due to some effect, because they have done some sadhana in any previous lives, so they have bhavadeh of kirtan, which they attained long time ago in any previous life. So because of the effect of that, they also admire. They also get affected with the kirtan and some initial symptoms. Ashrupulkadaya. Premnastu prathamavastha ashrupulkadaya. The tears and horripilation. This kind of signs are seen in ordinary devotees as well. And sometimes it happens so that the one who is coming for the first time and some signs are seen, sometimes it seems that he never did bhakti. He is not inclined to do bhakti. But still when he comes in the satsang, his scene is in ecstasy. Why? It is also because of their dormant sanskar. They have already done lots of sadhana in their previous lives, but because of some bad sanskar. If you offend a saint, a devotee, then you create a bad sanskar for yourself, and then you are deprived from all these symptoms of bhakti. But again, when they attain, when the good sanskar arise, then again they attain it. Because God is sitting in their heart as well, and He knows that he has done sadhana a lot. In that situation also, sometimes we see the symptoms of rati in their body as well. It also happens that we see someone and we think that this person he does not love God, he is Nastik. Sometimes it seems like he does not follow any rule of devotion, any rule. Looks like that he is a corrupted person. But when we see the symptoms of ecstasy in his body, then we get surprised as well. How come it is so? Because his mind is attached to God all the time. But sometimes, because of the samskar of his previous lives, he behaves like he is not a devotee. Like Nityanandaji Maharaj. He was very naughty by nature. He was very naughty. So he was doing such kind of things, like people could think that it seems like he is not a good devotee. Once the kirtan was going on, a devotee was sitting next to him. First time when he was trying to do Rup Dhyan, it happened for the first time that he could do very good Rup Dhyan. He was enjoying his Rup Dhyan, sitting, and I was very, very happy. Nityanandaji Maharaj, he was Mahapurush, he was seeing that what is he visualizing now. His Rup Dhyan, what Rup Dhyan he is doing, Nityanandaji could see that what is he thinking. Then he did like this at his head, and his Rup Dhyan was broken. So he was very angry, he went to Mahaprabhu Chaitanya, that see, he is so naughty. First time it happened that I could do Rup Dhyan very well, that he hit me over here and my Rup Dhyan was gone. Everybody was laughing, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that you are a great devotee, it doesn't make any difference to you, but they are the poor new devotees, don't do it like that. So, because of the previous sanskars, sometimes they do it. We should be very careful. Seeing some high-class devotee doing something wrong, never think that he is the corrupted person. He is a bad person. Never. This is a great offense because you don't know where he is. They do something else, but inside there is something else. Saint Haridas Ji, at the time of Holi, he was in Vrindavan and sitting in the temple of Sevakunj. A king of Jaipur was going to visit Vrindavan at the time of Holi. He asked some devotee of Haridas Ji in Jaipur that I am going to Vrindavan and I'll meet Haridas Ji Maharaj and I want to take something for him as a gift. What should I take? He said, he likes the perfumes very much. Take some good perfume for him. He said, okay. Although he was thinking in his mind, he is Mahapurush. He is a saint, he likes perfume. But he said, okay, if he wants perfume, I will take perfume. So he ordered for a very good perfume. It was very expensive bottle, little bottle, very expensive. And when he reached there, Saint Haridas Ji was singing a bhajan of Holi. At the same time, a disciple of Haridas Ji took him towards Haridas Ji and said, he is the king of Jaipur. And then he did pranam to Haridas Ji and gave that bottle of perfume. He smiled, he opened it immediately and poured the bottle of perfume right over there. So he was very angry. Then why? I ordered such expensive perfume. Is he crazy? Why did he throw it like this? He poured on the earth. He was very upset about it. If he didn't have to use, he could have given us to us, or he could have given it to the temple. Why did he pour like that? He was thinking like that. When the kirtan was finished, then Haridas Ji said to one of his disciples, take him towards the temple, show him our Yugal Sarkar. He took him to the temple. When he went over there, he experienced the same perfume, the smell of same perfume. He was surprised that it is not the common perfume. I especially ordered this perfume. He poured it right over there. How come I am having the fragrance over here? It was far from there. The temple was far from the satsang hall where Haridas Ji was doing kirtan. He was surprised that how come I am having the fragrance of the perfume over here? And then when he went back, Haridas Ji said, what are you thinking? It seems like you are very upset for something. He said, yes, I am. Why? He said, because I gave you the perfume, it was very expensive. You poured it right over here. Then I was, inside my mind, I was upset. Then I went to the temple. I smelled the same fragrance over there. How did it happen? I don't understand. You poured it here and I am smelling it over there. How did it happen? He said, okay, although I should not tell everybody, but now, just to ensure question, I am telling you that when you gave me the perfume bottle, it was the best time. Because you didn't notice, that time Kishoriji was going to fill up her pichkari to throw on Shyam Sundar. So I thought this is the best time. Immediately poured your perfume in the watercolor of Kishoriji, and then Kishoriji took the same color and threw it on Shyam Sundar. That's why he is drenched with your perfume. That's why you have the fragrance of the same perfume over there. He was so surprised. Oh, where was he? And what I was thinking. They were in ecstasy, He was doing kirtan, but he was with Kishoriji and Shyam Sundar. He was playing holy with Kishoriji and Shyam Sundar, but the poor devotee could not understand. He was just offending. He was thinking against the saint. So, sometimes it happens, we cannot understand what is their behavior or where they are, what are they doing. So, we should keep it in our mind. Apichet suduracharo bhajate mamananya bhag sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hisa. The Gita says, apichet suduracharo. Even if you see that his conduct, his behavior is not good, but don't feel bad about it. Why? Bhakshite mamane bhag. He is a devotee. He always remembers me. So, sadhureva samantavya. You should always look at all the devotees as a devotee, as a good person. Because when the devotee is thinking about God all the time, even if he is doing something wrong, sometimes, this is the mind of Maya, if sometimes he is doing really wrong thing, even then he will not get the result of it. Why? Vikarma yachot patitam kathanchit dhunoti sarvam hirisin sannivishta. God is sitting in his heart all the time. So if he does something wrong, even then Sri Krishna Hashira immediately nullifies. That's why we should never think bad against any devotee. We don't know what offense we are committing by thinking wrong about any devotee. Bhavopya bhavamayati Krishna preshta paradhataha. Even if you have reached the stage of bhav bhakti and you just did one aparadh against any devotee, you will immediately come down to the lowest level. It doesn't mean that he will lose all his devotion, but for that time, according to his intensity of his offense, he has to suffer for a long time without having that. It is like, so you see, if there is a millionaire, billionaire, and he is kept in the jail. That time, because of any offense, he is in the jail. Now he cannot use his property of millions of dollars, the luxury of his home. He cannot use anything. But when the time of his imprisonment is over, when he goes back again home, then he will enjoy his property again. In the same way, when we commit any offense, then according to the gravity of our offense, we have to suffer for a long time. We will not have the same stage of bhakti where we had reached already. It will be snatched away from us. Then again, after having when the time of punishment is over, again you can attain it. When the good sanskar will reveal, then again we can enjoy the same bhakti in next life or after a few lives. It depends on the gravity of the offense. So this is the beginning, how the love begins. So what happens after that? I think I will start it from tomorrow. Boliye Srimad Satguru Sarkar ki jai. Srimad Yugal Sarkar ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.